I'm just getting warmed up!
Are you afraid to fight me yourself, you cowardly snake?
A snake, am I? Perhaps you'd like to see how snake-like I can be.
Rack 'em, rake, stick that sword into that snake!
You stay out of this.
Jafar, he's our man if he can't do it.
Great!
Jasmine, hang on!
Little fool. You thought you could defeat the most powerful being on Earth.
Squeeze him, Jafar, squeeze him like a... Ah!
Without the genie, boy, you're nothing.
The genie. The genie. The genie has more power than you'll ever have.
What?
He gave you your power. He could take it away.
Al, what are you doing? Why are you bringing me into this?
Face it, Jafar. You're still just second best.
You're right. His power does exceed my own. But not for long.
The boy is crazy. He's a little punch drunk. One too many hits with a snake.
Slave! I make my third wish. I wish to be an all-powerful genie!
All right. Your wish is my command. Way to go, Al.
The power! The absolute power!
What have you done?
Trust me.
The universe is mine to command, to control!
Not so fast, Jafar. Aren't you forgetting something? You wanted to be a genie? You got it.
What?
And everything that goes with it.
No! No!
I'm getting out of here!
Phenomenal cosmic powers.
Come on, you're the genie! I love
Itty bitty living space. Al, you little genius, you.
Let's get into these Reddit comments, shall we?
They need to take away his drama channel. What kind of person goes on video and berates a person with serious mental conditions going on? He makes me sick. In last night's video he called Gabby Hannah unhinged. A weirdo. A cuckoo. He said you fucked up your own career. He is beyond rude. I can't stand her, but if you heard how vile he was. The shouting. The name calling. The constant calling her insane and telling her marriage was bullshit and she needs to get to a doctor was disgusting. As a commentary channel you shouldn't attack someone who had such severe mental issues. If she hurt herself, how would he feel? I don't care how shitty she has been, his language and behavior in that video was grotesque. Also because he pitches a fit and goes crazy if anyone brings up his marriage or anything about him. I get the most hate, wah. I'm talking about Peter. He knew she has been having terrible mental health struggles. She has been suicidal. So he goes on a public forum and tells her she has nothing. No one gives a shit about her. She's insane. Her career is over. That's complete bullshit for him to do that. So you are telling me it makes sense for Peter to attack someone who is mentally unstable just to get a couple thousand views, some likes and $20 in his pocket? BC, she has been problematic in the past. Two wrongs don't make a right. He absolutely knows better. Let him keep it up. YouTube will take his channel. Because he was way too agitated and way too aggressive in that video. I can't stand Gabbie and I literally had tears in my eyes at his cruelty. It made me truly scared for her. He is like the rewired soul. He should shut his mouth regarding mental health on PPL who are struggling BC. He is not a doctor or a psychiatrist. He has never met Gabbie and he's not all there himself. The perilous rhetoric of Peter. Let's take a deep examination of how his alleged behavior reveals a profoundly dangerous pattern of online cruelty and exploitation. Good evening, my friend, Gabbie, while painting a chilling portrait of a man referred to only as Peter. The post isn't just venting, it's a desperate plea that forces us to confront something darker, the way certain public figures weaponize platforms, mental fragility, and human suffering for clout, views, and pocket change. What emerges from even a single reading of this testimony is not merely mean-spirited content. It is the unmistakable sound of danger, psychological, emotional, and potentially physical danger, emanating from Peter's described actions and demeanor. Let us begin by immersing ourselves fully in the evidence provided. The commenter states plainly, Gabbie has been having terrible mental health struggles. She has been suicidal. She is described as insane, in the colloquial, exhausted sense of someone whose mind is fracturing under public pressure. Her career, according to this witness, is over. Into this already collapsing life steps Peter, who goes on a public forum and tells her she has nothing. No one gives a shit about her. He does this, the post alleges, knowing full well her fragility, because a couple thousand views, some likes and $20 in his pocket outweigh any concern for a fellow human being's survival. The video in question reportedly left the commenter, literally had tears in my eyes at his cruelty, way too agitated and way too aggressive, and so viscerally frightening that they wrote, I literally had tears in my eyes. I was truly scared for her. Peter, we are told, is like the rewired soul. A haunting phrase that evokes someone whose empathy circuits have been deliberately rewired, or perhaps never properly formed. He is accused of having never met Gabbie, of possessing no credentials whatsoever as a doctor or psychiatrist, and yet presuming to lecture or dismantle her publicly on the very topic, mental health, where he is least qualified. The poster concludes with a warning that should chill anyone who values basic human decency. Peter should shut his mouth regarding mental health on PPL who are struggling BC. He is not a doctor or a psychiatrist, is not all there himself. This is not the language of ordinary internet disagreement. This is the language of someone who has witnessed what feels like psychological battery in real time. And when we sit with it, when we refuse to scroll past, we begin to hear how dangerously Peter's approach resonates. First, consider the mechanics of the danger itself. Targeted public shaming of a known suicidal individual. Mental health professionals have long documented the contagion effect and the lethal impact of public humiliation on those already at the brink. When a person in crisis is told, in front of thousands, that they are worthless, that no one gives a shit, the message is not abstract. It lands like a brick through the last remaining window of hope. Suicidal ideation is not a debate club topic. It is a neurological and emotional state in which the brain's threat detection system is hijacked. Introducing external confirmation of worthlessness, especially from someone with even modest influence, can tip the scale from, I feel hopeless, to, I will act on it. Peter's alleged choice to do exactly that, fully aware of Gabbie's documented struggles, is not edgy commentary. It is playing Russian roulette with another human life for algorithmic reward. That is dangerous. Full stop. Second, the financial and motivational layer reveals an even more sinister calculus. The commenter explicitly ties Peter's actions to a couple thousand views. $20 in his pocket. Here we see the dark underbelly of the attention economy laid bare. Platforms like YouTube are engineered to reward controversy, outrage, and spectacle. But when that spectacle is built on the visible disintegration of a vulnerable person's mental health, the creator is no longer a commentator. He becomes a predator. The danger lies not just in the single video, but in the precedent it sets, that it is acceptable, even profitable, to harvest suffering for monetization. Once one creator demonstrates that attacking the mentally ill yields engagement, others follow. The ecosystem becomes a slaughterhouse of the fragile. Peter, if the account is accurate, is not accidentally stumbling into this. He is described as way too agitated and way too aggressive, suggesting a deliberate, emotionally charged performance calibrated for maximum impact. That level of intentionality transforms recklessness into something far closer to malice. Third, the personal demeanor described, agitated, aggressive, cruelty, that moved a stranger to tears, points to a deeper personality-level risk. Empathy is not optional software, it is the fundamental operating system of civilized interaction. When it is absent or actively inverted, turning another's pain into one's own gain, we are looking at traits that mental health literature associates with high-conflict personalities, narcissistic exploitation, or even subclinical psychopathic tendencies. The commenter's visceral fear, "I was truly scared for her," is instructive. It is the instinctive human response to watching someone who appears to derive satisfaction from another's terror. Peter is portrayed as so unmoored from basic compassion that he continues the assault despite visible evidence of harm. Gabbie's tears, her suicidal history. In psychological terms, this is called sadistic gratification, and when broadcast to an audience, it normalizes cruelty on a mass scale. Viewers, especially younger ones still forming their moral compasses, absorb the lesson: vulnerable people are fair game if they generate clicks. That normalization is dangerous to the social fabric itself. Fourth, the hypocrisy and false authority compound the peril. Peter is accused of speaking authoritatively on mental health while lacking any medical, psychiatric, or even personal acquaintance with Gabbie. He has never met Gabbie and is not all there himself. This is not harmless opinion giving, it is medical misinformation wrapped in entertainment. When unqualified voices diagnose, shame, or expose mental illness in public, they erode public trust in actual expertise and simultaneously weaponize stigma. People who are already terrified of seeking help hear the message amplified: if you struggle, you will be mocked, dissected, and discarded for sport. The danger here is epidemiological. Peter's platform becomes a vector for spreading both misinformation and fear, potentially deterring countless others from treatment. Fifth, the pattern recognition in the post cannot be ignored. YouTube will take his channel, he's been problematic in the past. Isolated incidents can sometimes be excused as lapses in judgment. Repeated behavior suggests character. If Peter has a documented history of similar conduct, then what we are witnessing is not a one-off mistake but a sustained strategy of exploitation. Each new target becomes data point confirming the profitability of cruelty. The danger escalates exponentially. Today Gabbie, tomorrow whoever else dares to be visible while imperfect or struggling. The internet becomes a minefield for anyone with mental health challenges, and Peter, if the pattern holds, functions as one of its most active sappers. Let us broaden the lens further. This is not merely about one Reddit thread or one YouTube video. It is about the structural vulnerability of our current media environment. Mental illness affects roughly 1 in 5 adults in any given year. Many of them are online, sharing, creating, or simply existing in digital spaces. When figures like the Peter described here treat those spaces as hunting grounds, the collective psychological safety of millions erodes. We have seen this play out before: high-profile cases of cyberbullying leading to suicide, doxing campaigns that destroy careers and lives, cancellation, rituals that leave lasting trauma. What makes Peter's alleged approach especially insidious is the explicit targeting of suicidal ideation as content fodder. It is not debating ideas, it is debating a person's right to continue existing. That crosses from discourse into psychological violence. Moreover, the gender and power dynamics, while not explicitly detailed, hover in the background. Gabbie is portrayed as a woman whose career is being dismantled, whose sanity is being questioned, whose very life is being gambled with. Peter is positioned as the aggressor with the platform, the microphone, the monetization. The imbalance is classic: strength preying on perceived weakness for status. History is littered with examples of charismatic or influential men who built followings by publicly dismantling women in crisis, sometimes for ideology, sometimes for profit, sometimes for the sheer thrill of dominance. The danger is not abstract, it is the replication of patriarchal cruelty updated for the algorithm age. We must also confront the self-reinforcing loop Peter's behavior allegedly creates. By being agitated and aggressive, he generates stronger emotional reactions in viewers, outrage, tears, shares, comments. The algorithm rewards the spike. More views. More money. More incentive to escalate next time. The human cost? Irrelevant. Gabbie becomes collateral damage in someone else's hustle. The commenter's tears are proof that the harm radiates outward, bystanders are traumatized too. Multiply that across thousands of viewers and the danger becomes societal, a desensitized public, more tolerant of cruelty, less willing to intervene when they see suffering. In psychological terms, what Peter is accused of exhibiting is a form of dark triad behavior, narcissism, need for admiration via views, Machiavellianism, strategic exploitation of weakness, and subclinical psychopathy, callous disregard for harm caused. When such traits are paired with a public platform, the risk multiplies. History's most destructive figures often began with smaller-scale cruelties that were dismissed as just words or entertainment. The slope is slippery precisely because each escalation is framed as free speech or just my opinion. But speech that foreseeably endangers life is not protected in any meaningful ethical framework. It is reckless endangerment wearing a content creator costume. The final layer of danger is the most insidious. Peter's alleged unwillingness to stop even when consequences are threatened. YouTube will take his channel. The commenters hope that the platform will act as poignant but reveals a deeper truth. Self-regulation is absent. When creators believe they are above accountability, when they treat human lives as disposable props, they become vectors of chaos. They normalize the idea that mental illness is content, that suicide threats are drama, that cruelty is a business model. Young men watching may internalize that aggression toward vulnerable women is alpha behavior. Young women may learn to stay silent about their struggles lest they become the next target. The cultural temperature rises, empathy cools. In conclusion, the Reddit screenshot does not merely criticize Peter, it documents a clear and present danger. The combination of targeting a suicidal person, doing so for financial gain, displaying overt aggression and cruelty, claiming unearned authority on mental health, and exhibiting a pattern of problematic behavior creates a perfect storm of psychological harm. Peter does not sound like a thoughtful commentator or even a garden variety troll. He sounds, through the lens of this eyewitness account, like someone whose words and actions could literally end a life. Or at minimum, chatter one beyond repair, for the price of $20 and fleeting internet fame. This is not hyperbole. This is pattern recognition. This is what happens when empathy dies and the algorithm inherits the earth. If the account in the screenshot is even half accurate, Peter represents a warning. The internet's most dangerous predators are not always anonymous basement dwellers with knives. Sometimes they are polished, agitated, aggressive content creators with blue-check ambitions and monetized cruelty. They do not need to pull a trigger, they simply need to speak, knowing the fragile will hear every word as a death sentence. Gabbie's story, as told here, demands we listen. Peter's alleged role demands we name the danger plainly. This is not entertainment. This is not discourse. This is psychological violence dressed as content. And until platforms, audiences, and society itself treat it with the seriousness it deserves, until we stop rewarding the Peters of the world with views and dollars, the next Gabbie may not be lucky enough to have even one defender crying tears of outrage on Reddit. The danger is real. The time to recognize it is now, before another vulnerable soul is told, on camera, that no one gives a shit, and decides the world agrees. Fuck off, Peter, you latch onto much younger content creators and enjoy ruining them.
He logs on live with a solemn sigh, baseball cap pulled low, spectacles high. Says, now listen close, I've done the work, twirling that stick like a counseling perk. He's diagnosing vibes from a ring light throne, with a minor in Google and a major in tone. Set your boundaries, guard your peace, as the comment section begs for a cease and desist. Tap, tap, twirl it slow. Here comes wisdom from the YouTube show. Accountability, he declares with flair, while Baton conducts the trauma in the air. Oh, twirl it, therapist of the stream, baton of boundaries, self-help supreme, from the swivel chair of destiny, preaching calm but serving tea. Click like, subscribe to clarity, certified in audacity. Wave that wand of empathy, Protective's very own doctor, me. He's unpacking drama like it's couch therapy night. But the couch is a gaming chair under LED light. Let's process this, he softly says, as he stirs the pot with emotional jazz. He quotes some meme like it's Freud reborn, with a sprinkle of sass and a martyr's scorn. Protect your energy, block and release. Spin it left, spin it right. Gaslight glow in 4K light. Hold space, he cries with intensity, while monetizing vulnerability. Oh, twirl it, therapist of the stream, baton of boundaries, self-help supreme. Every scandal gets a healing spin, with a side of shade and a knowing grin. He's got credentials from the school of fields and a doctorate, and let me tell you what's real. Wave that wand of empathy, Protective's very own doctor, me. I'm not involved, I'm just observing, zooming toward concern, blinking. This is a dark road. Insert passive aggressive. Anyway, that's a spit so cool. Twirl it tight, twirl it proud. Preach detachment, stay real loud. Boundaries healing inner child. But the algorithm's running wild, from 40 size to subtle shape. Therapy feet are fully staged. Wave that wand of empathy, certified in hypocrisy. Certified in hypocrisy. Certified in wounded fight. Protective's very own cause he will appear with a stick and a solemn tear.
She's a Gurkhananakan.
Well, what exactly does that mean?
Literally, it's the precise moment when dog dude turns white.